costumes were beautiful, all the colors. The dancing was heartfelt and truly from the divine.
It's really good. I'll encourage anybody to see it. It's really worthwhile. It's worth the money.
12号晚，神韵巡回艺术团在维吉尼亚州乔治梅森大学艺术中心的演出爆满，看到艺术家们将真正的中国传统文化再现舞台，观众感到无比珍贵而美好。
This is important for the U.S. public to come out and witness other cultures. We really are culture poor, knowledge of other cultures. And I think this is a good exposure, excellent exposure.
I think I speak for a lot of Americans when I say even if we haven't been to China, we have a lot of respect for the Chinese culture and dance and folk traditions. And it's really actually makes me angry to think that Chinese government would ban this and turn their back on culture of this sort. It's just a shame. But it's great that it's here.
神韵演出中展现的正邪较量及神性内涵，给观众留下深刻印象。
Especially the stuff about communism and the struggle that's going on for people who still live under that rule in China.
We all have a divine nature within us, and that truly came out in the performance and how elegant and how selfless they must be and how much practice has gone into their performance in order to it was just amazing. It was perfection. And that probably can only come from the divine.
新唐人华府记者站维州费尔法克斯市报道。
Absolutely wonderful. We enjoy the choreography, the dance, and the music is really impressive as well. And I'm a particular fan of the Monkey King, so I enjoy the stories.
And the one with the sleeves, that was really very, very special. And the folklore, everything about it. I mean, it's been very, very entertaining. It's living up to its hype, I'll tell you that.
Beautiful. The color and the dancing are amazing. And I'm especially impressed by the athleticism of the dancers, the elevation they get on the jumping. It's amazing.
观赏了神韵巡回艺术团的精彩演出，主流观众们赞不绝口，尤其喜爱其中展现的古老文化与传统价值。
I think that's something we lack currently, and it's important for people to understand the roots of our culture. We're so focused on modern technology that we don't often get to enjoy the things from our past or even from other cultures. So I think there's a lot of value in learning and visualizing and seeing the way people lived and the skills and dance that they bring with their culture.
看到演出中神佛下世救度众生的壮观景象，观众感到无比震撼，并产生强烈共鸣。
It comes across very strongly. It's inspirational, and of course the episode about Falun Gong was very striking and impressive.
Love and caring and doing the right thing is always important, no matter who you are or where you are. And I think that is a message that needs to be spread around the world always and repeatedly.
There's so much the same between the East and the West. It's just how we grew up and how we were viewed to it. But it was very interesting to see the look up to the heavens, but how that also touched the people.
新唐人华府记者站维州费尔法克斯市报道。
美国神韵巡回艺术团日前在维州费尔法克斯市的3场演出圆满落幕。无论是专业艺术界人士、大学教授，还是职业外交官，都被神韵纯善纯美的演出所深深折服。
Particularly impressed with the way that the performers, their grace and the way they movement, they almost seem to fly on the stage. And the way you've integrated film into it is just very nice.
I just wish I was as young as all those actors on the stage.
The best musicians I've ever heard, really.
I specifically enjoyed finally seeing a big performance with live orchestra, like full orchestra, and especially really enjoyed the music as well. And of course the colors and all the choreography, everything, the way it's put together, the elegance of it, I definitely enjoyed it.
神韵巡回艺术团的精彩演出，让来自欧洲的专业舞蹈教师聂拿塔特感到久违的激动，同时也领略到中国古典舞的独特之美。
Specifically enjoyed a couple steps where ladies would walk with a heel, but they would look so light as they're doing the movement. Definitely, I enjoyed the storytelling, and I enjoy actually the humor. Humor, it's not easy to depict in dancing, so I thought they did a really great job with that.
演出过程中，观众感受到艺术家们在舞台上散发出的强大能量和内心的平静祥和。
You can feel the peace, the harmony that comes out of them. You can feel the joy that they have in their dances, and the absolute joy in conveying their culture to ours.
And we appreciate what you're doing right here. We hope this will be shown back, and it will be a positive and helpful element between our two great countries.
新唐人华府记者站维州费尔法克斯市报道。
蒙大拿州州长、2位联邦参议员以及市长都发来贺信，感谢神韵将古老的中国传统文化与比林斯市民众分享。看到神韵展示了中国5000年悠久的文化与历史，以及这些文化的起源，比林斯观众们感到欣喜。
What they kind of believe and what their historical values were before, communism came in there, and just kind of their outlook on people, that people around the world are all the same and all looking for the same things, and so it's kind of neat to.
It was fabulous. I really loved it. I loved the cultural depth of it, and the Chinese culture has been fascinating to me, and definitely a lot of culture seemed to have been repressed and lost for a while, but we're seeing a resurgence of the Chinese culture, and it's very refreshing.
拥有一家珠宝设计公司的伊拉凯法勒与家人一同观看了神韵后表示，美丽的色彩搭配与典雅的舞蹈带给他许多灵感。
I saw many color combinations that are unusual and were very inspiring to me personally. Of course, I was already thinking of gemstones to put together.
神韵展示的中国古典舞的多样表现力让他叹为观止。
It was more about the beauty of the dance and the color and the form, and just a much more modest presentation, which I personally enjoy.
神韵天幕、神韵乐团与舞蹈天衣无缝的相互配合，给观众们留下了深刻印象，并从神韵致力于复兴中国失传的神传文化的努力中受到启迪与鼓舞。
That is kind of the historical references and how a lot of what is perceived to be divinely inspired was considered to be not good for modern age and destroyed by communism, which is unfortunate.
The fitness and the athleticism of the dancers. I mean, because to do that for that long of a time, you got to be in really, really, really good shape. And so, just the dedication that I know they put in for years and years and years to be that fit, to be able to dance like that, was really spectacular.
神韵精湛的技艺不时赢得观众热烈的掌声。结束时，全体观众起立，向演员们表达崇高的致意。新唐人旧金山记者站蒙大拿比林斯市采访报道。
I like the jumps, the dancers, they do really good.
So primarily I like the two things, the perspective myths, the perspective provided by the historical stories. So we've been brought up in our culture with our sort of historical stories, and to see some of these historical stories from a different culture is very touching. Second, the dance and the dress from the different dynasties is very, very, very nice, very eye-opening. It's a non-monolithic. It was nice to see that. Nice to see that with the different dynasties came different aspects of the culture and different, dress, different dance styles.
罗伯特·阿马罗先生是美国国家科学基金会工程研究中心的一位材料科学家，曾在阿拉巴马大学任教。他认为神韵舞蹈编排得非常流畅，其中的故事蕴含着深刻的精神内涵，让他深受感动。
The beauty of the performance itself, and there's a lot going on, right? So especially with the dress, with the costumes and the flow and the fluidity of the movement, okay, so typically in the ballets that we see, there's fluidity in singular movement, but that entire stage has fluidity of movement, right? When they move together along with their dress and their costumes, yeah. It's gorgeous. It's very, very, it's a lot to take in.
I like all the colors, and I like how they put the message with the story and the dance. Flows very well.
As of right now, I'm very overwhelmed, right? And so we typically go to ballet, and so I'm used to a different type of performing art, and so right now there's so much color and movement, and the movement. I'm very, very overwhelmed at this point, so I'm still processing.
新唐人记者泽林月磊，阿拉巴马伯明翰市采访报道。
as we were talking, I think what really came to mind was how artistic they were, how athletic they were. They were like actors and actresses up there. It was just really amazing.
美国矿业保险集团副总裁兼首席财务官皮尔雷先生携全家人第3次来看神韵。
The music was just awesome. The professionalism, just the sound quality, just beautiful. The colors and the costumes were amazing, and then just the dance, the just all the choreography, the dance was wonderful. So it was just an amazing performance again this year. As my wife said, it's our 3rd time to be here. Each time is different, and each time is amazing.
I loved the performance, the costumes, the dances, and I also liked the kind of the underlying message of the show, with just the the working to be good and help others, and that good can overcome evil, and that was kind of an underlying theme that you saw throughout the performance.
And I really like the integration of Chinese culture into the dances. And it was really interesting to me also how the communist China today and in the 1900s was repressing all the traditional Chinese culture, and this was just a really cool way of bringing it back.
The good and evil, I really enjoyed the fact that the people seem to continue to fight despite the oppression, despite the increasing odds against them. It just made me feel, made me want to root for them, honestly.
Yes, and I think Shenyang restores the concept of spirituality and the spiritualism that's embedded in the Chinese culture that the communists have tried to remove. And it's such an important part of Chinese life. And so it's great that that's being kept alive through Shenyang.
神韵给生活在现代社会的人们展示了真正幸福的人生之路。
Turn away from the modern world and to kind of leave behind the materialistic things, because that's not going to get you where you want to be in the end, and that's not going to make you happy.
Yep, awesome performance. We're glad to be back, and we'll be back again next year.
新唐人记者泽林月磊，阿拉巴马州伯明翰市采访报道。
The music's very nice. It's nice to listen to. The colors are really vibrant. Today's the first day of spring, and looks like that up on the stage too.
The performance was incredible. I really enjoyed all of the different kinds of dancing, the costumes, the stories that were told in the performance. I enjoyed all of it.
电子公司老板马克·哈弗利与家人一同来观赏神韵演出，他被舞蹈演员高超的技巧所打动。
I feel great. I don't want to drive home, but I feel great after watching the performance. Yeah, I think my whole family enjoyed it. Some of the stories that were from Chinese culture, I think, that were portrayed in the dance, I really enjoyed. The particularly caring for others, I guess, was a message that came through in some of the dances. All of it. I enjoyed the messaging. I enjoyed the performance. I enjoyed the expertise of the dancers. I can't wait to come back.
哈弗利认为，神韵演出传递出的能量与信息名副其实。
Personally, I think it reinforces some beliefs that I already have. I thought the name of the program was very consistent with the dancing and the messaging. Having a positive message for kids, for families, and for divine inspiration is something that would bring my family back to the show next year.
新唐人旧金山记者站科罗拉多州科泉市采访报道。